Hi, and welcome to this module on filters. Tableau provides the ability to filter views, dashboards, and even entire workbooks to the developer. The developer can then in turn give some of those filters to the end user to select as well. And in this module, we're going to go through why you would create a filter and how to create extract filters, data source filters, dimension filters, and measure filters. You might want to create a filter because you want to create a subset of data or to speed your data source up. You might also want to clean up your underlying data or even give the end user the ability to select a date range or a dimension. So we're going to go through some of the ways that you can create those. So you see here, we're using our population data. I'm in the dimensions filters sheet. And I just created this little thing with population numbers on the marks card, and the year, and the county. So if I wanted to filter, I could either go directly to the view and select what I wanted to filter. Let's say maybe I want to filter out everything that's less than 10,000 people in the population. So I can select Clay County. I can hold down control and select Hancock and go so forth and so on and select whatever I'd like. And then I can either select keep only or exclude. In this case, I'll select exclude so you can see that those are no longer in my selection. Now, if I wanted to view that filter, I can go to the top and right click, say edit filter. And go scroll down, and you can see where Clay County is stricken through, as well as Hancock County, because they are excluded. And here in the summary section, you see that you've excluded 2 of the 95 values. So just hit OK, and say instead of that, you wanted to select everything and make sure that you weren't missing anything with a population of under 10,000. So you could actually right click and say edit filter. Say instead of that measure filter, you wanted to exclude every county that starts with a C. So let's go and select none on this sheet here. This is the select from list. We don't necessarily want to do a custom value list because either we would have to know all the county names, or like in the select from list, we would have to select each and every county, which can be hard if we ever get new counties, which I know is likelihood is 0, but just in case your data set allows it. We can go to wildcard. And you see here, it gives you the match value and exclude options. So what I want to exclude does not start with counties that start with a C. So select that and hit apply. And you see now your counties are gone. Your counties that start with a C are gone. If you go back to select from list, you don't see anything really here because that's not what you're doing. You're actually using this wildcard. You can also select a condition or a top. So if your condition was that you wanted it to be within a range of values, or if you wanted some more complex filtering, you can do that right here. Say that you don't want the counties that start with C, but you want the counties that might start with C and end with an N. Who knows? Cannon County or something. And in your top, you might want the top 10 counties by population. You can also select that. We'll go ahead and do that too. So now we're looking at the top 10. If we go back to this general, we can see here. It's filtering out everything that starts with a C first. Then it's giving you the top 10 by sum of the population across time. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that and pull this off the field. I can also give the end user the ability to filter by selecting county and pulling it over to the filter shelf and saying use all. So when you create a dashboard at that point, what the user would see is this list, and they can actually select what counties they want. Otherwise, if you don't allow them the ability to filter it out, then you're creating your own particular view, your own static view for them not to mess with, which is great too, but it serves its purpose. Anyway, let's go and look at the measure filters. If we select this other tab, we can see counties sorted by population, and say that I want only the top 10 counties. So I can either pull over my county, I could just pull over my county to the filter and select top 10 by population. Hit apply. I can change this and say top 5. And that gives me 5. From this, if I only wanted the counties that were over 3 million people, I'll show you how to do a measure filter. So pull population up on the filter shelf, and it gives you an aggregation level. So you can either do all values or sum. I'm doing sum at this because that's what it is, a sum of population. That I want at least you get these values. So if you know that you want somebody that's within 3 million to 5 million, which would result in Knox County, you can select this. And hit apply. So now you only see Knox County. But if you don't know what the top level it is, or whatever you're looking for, then you can say at least 3 million. If you only know the top level you're looking at, you can say at most. And if you want to be able to cancel out null values or show null values, you can select those here at the special. Now let's talk about some more options that you can do with your filters. If you want to apply a filter to multiple sheets, which is something you certainly can do, you can right-click the filter and you'd say apply to worksheets. If I wanted to apply it to everything using this data source, I could select that. Or if I just wanted to apply it to a specific sheet, I can select that. So now when I go back to dimension filters, I should see it the filter for population where it's at least 3 million. And I don't have anything here because I've got year on my granularity. So if I took a year off, then I would see the same exact view. But because I had year on, my level of granularity was broken down by year, and there was nothing that had a sum of 3 million. So I'll take that off, and now if I wanted to filter that across all data sets, all I would have to have done was hit all using this data source. There might be other things that you want to be able to filter on and have that filter apply to either the entire dashboard or to the entire workbook. If you applied filters here, then another developer can actually get in and see things too. So what you might want to do, especially if you have to implement any kind of security or anything, is to have that at the data source level, where you could create a filter on at the extract level. So if you wanted to create a filter at the extract level, what you can do, let's go off of this, and yes, this is good. So if we go and right-click our Edit Data Source, you see here you've got an Edit Data Source Filters. So we'll be able to, you can filter them out at this level, but say you wanted it to be very secure. So hit Edit Data Source, and you can hit Extract here at the top, and you see it says Extract will include all data. Now you see a button that says Edit. You edit, and you can add a filter here. So if I wanted to add a filter and say I just want the top 10 by population, and this would be across all, like the total aggregation, not just by year or whatever. It'd be like by the measures filter sheet. So say, okay, and you want to aggregate data up to all visible dimensions. You want all rows. Let's go ahead and hit OK. So now when I go to my measure filter sheet, it's going to create that. And now I only have 10 rows, because that's all I even have in my data set. So now I don't have any filters available. I don't have anything in my edit data source filters. But even if I just drug over from nothing, I just double click county, I'm only going to see 10 counties. So another way to do this would actually be the only way to get this back actually is to unclick this use extract. Now you see all data. So if you have an extract associated with this, and this is based off of a SQL Server or something where your developer needed to have access to it, when they went to click to unextract their data, they would be prompted for their username and password. But if I wanted to filter this out at the similar level, I can actually do this across the entire workbook here at the Edit Data Source Filters. So I right-click the data source, and I went to Edit Data Source Filters. Now I'll add county, okay, and I want the top 10 by population. So hit OK, and hit OK. And I get that same result again. And you'll have this at every sheet that you go to. So if I pulled a county over here, I would have that. So basically, you've just really reduced the size of your data set.